Hello, this is Lisa and Imagination Sisterhood Studio. I just saw a video on Instagram, and it was someone had made a really adorable round journal that was all out of circles, and for whatever reason it sparked my creativity, so I thought I'd see if I can figure out how to make it. So you're going to experiment with me and we'll see if we can get it done. So the first thing I did was pulled out my jumbo 3-inch circle cutter, and I thought about it a little bit, and I think this is how I need to do it. So you're gonna learn with me. I'm gonna start with a template of a circle. So we'll start with a circle. Oops, come on. It's stuck in my cutter. Already had a snafu. We haven't even gotten started yet. Come on. There we go. Okay, so now I have my 3-inch circle, and I think what I want to do, I'm going to use craft paper because I think it will be cute, and I think I'm going to do it with I'm going to use the Stamperia coffee and chocolate paper because I think it's lovely and adorable and it inspires me. So what I'm going to do is cut a bunch of circles. I think this is what I'm going to do. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. We'll see. I am going to cut a bunch of circles on the fold. So the first thing I have to do is fold this and leave kind of a lip. And I have to hand cut it from there, and I don't know that I want to do that, so I might have to come up with something else, because I do not want to hand cut a whole bunch of. I think I would probably need about 6 of these, maybe 8 of these. I was thinking of doing a spine that's taped together, but I really thought if I could do it this way and have the spine already be attached, that would be my first choice. So let me see what this looks like. I think that might work. I'm just not that good at cutting circles, so that's why I really didn't want to do it this way. All right, so we'll try it a different way, and we'll see which of the 2 ways I like the best. So let's take another piece and cut 2 of these. My paper is just wide enough for my cutter, so that's why I have to do it from the bottom. There's 1. Oh, and that one came out so nice and easy. And there's 2. All right, so if I do this way, yes, this is a nice weight of craft paper. All right, so if I do this, then what I think I would do would be I'm trying to find something here that's going to work as a hinge. I don't think that's going to be strong enough. My 2 circles. And now I'm going to put these together with this. So I think I'm going to do all of my circles, and I'm going to put them together with a piece like this, and that will create the hinge, and then I'll just glue them all together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I think I want, let's do 8 of these. I have 2 strips. I think I'm going to make them each. It's not really going to matter because for the most part it's not going to show. But I think we'll make them about however long that is. Let's see. It is 1 1/4 inches. So they're 1 1/4 inches long. And this way I can glue them, the 2 circles together with this hinge. And then I can glue the pages together back to back. I think that'll be enough. So let's go ahead and start out by gluing our hinges. And I'm going to do this on my mat because it will allow me to have everything lined up. I can line my circles right up on the grid of the mat. And then I can, I have no idea if this is going to work. If nothing else, we'll learn something together. All right, so if I hold this down, and then I can put it right in the middle, which is one of the things that makes this grid mat so wonderful. Yes. And I want it to overlap. Oh, yep, because I want to have a little bit on the back there. So I allow just the tiniest of spaces in between my 2 circles. Now let's see if I can repeat that same process. You know how I'm going to do it? I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to stack them on top of each other. And that way I can be sure that each one is the same. And I don't have to be so careful with all of my measuring because it'll already be done. I do have some cloth. This stuff is awesome. And that's exactly what this is made for. It's cloth tape. I think it's by Tim Holtz. And I was going to use that, but I think it's a little too wide. So that's why I'm using paper instead. All right, get these circles just lined up. And stick it on there. Make sure they're not stuck together. All right, so now we're ready, and I think I'm gonna glue them together first. Some of them I am gonna leave open, 1 or 2, just so I can put a little note in there, because I just always think that's cool to have a note in it. So I will leave a couple of them not completely glued, but for the most part, we are gonna glue them together. So let's start with the ones that I did first and allow these to dry a little bit. I think I want the decorative piece to show. And that means I am going to be gluing the white side to the white side. Ooh, that one's kind of close. That one's a little bit off. I think it's going to be okay. All right, so we're going to glue white side to white side. Let's go ahead and just put a nice bead of glue around the whole outside. We'll see if this is going to work. Oh, I only need 1 little bit of glue. All right, and we're just going to line those up, and the most important thing is that our hinge lines up. So you can see that that hinge is not lining up, so we don't want to see any white there. And that's our first page is done. fold it over. Color, color, white. So far we're doing good. Make sure it's lined up. Get my next white. Line it up. All right, so I want two to have pockets. That'll be the back page and the front page, which I'd done it in the middle, but I didn't, so whatever. So those I am only going to glue part way around. And that way something can slide in there. But I still have to line up the white to the white and the circle to the circle. So make sure my circles line up, and then make sure all my whites line up. I'm pretty close. Seeing as I've never done this before, I'm hoping it works. And we'll put this one on this side so that we have one in the front and one in the back. This way. And again, I want to leave the front part open. So we will only glue, make a sea of glue around the spine, or what will be the spine. And that goes right there. And all my tabs are lined up, so that's terrific. Means we're all set to go. And we have all of our, so let's see what it looks like. There's our pocket. And a pocket. Oops. That one should have been a pocket. Yep, there it is. All right, that's actually the book. You can do anything you want with it after you do that. I am going to use these coffee papers. I love this little, it says chocolatier on it. This is the cover, so normally I probably wouldn't use a whole lot of it. So I'm going to make that my first image. And I'm going to pop it out. Can I get that one there too? Might be able to use that one too. And there we go. We've already started a book, Chocolatier. I could do all the chocolate things if I wanted to, but I think I want to do a little bit of both. So I think I'm going to do coffee and chocolate. Just seeing if there's another image on this front that I can use, because most of this is wasted. I don't think any of these are big enough. And I think what I'm going to do is put an image on the front, and then I'll put an image on one side, but on the other side I'll leave a place. I'll cut circles out of a pretty lined, small lined paper, and that way it can still be a journal. So it could be a mini journal. All right, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm going to need 10 images. All right, so I'll do that, and then we'll be back. All right, we have our book, which is done. I have cut out a variety extra, actually, circles from the beautiful prints from within the book. I have some plain papers that I can make for writing, and then some smaller papers that I might add to some of the background papers just to put a little, these are lined, so just for a little variety. I guess the first thing I'm going to do is I am not going to decide on my cover image, but I am going to, I usually don't. I usually start with, when I open my journals, I want this first page to be, wow. That is what I'm going to look for right now. I love the coffee grinder. I like the kind of the intricacy of that. That says cafe on it. Don't like that one. That one, I like it, but not for the cover. Love this one. This is gorgeous. That's kind of fun. I'm thinking that one is striking my fancy as the... Yep, I think I'm using that one as my front cover. All right, let's get our ink out. And we'll have to ink as we go. Because it won't, it'll be harder once we get it in. And that page, I just, if I really want dark ink before I start, I have a spray bottle and I just spray it. And while I get everything ready, then it soaks in. And then when I go to ink, I have really dark ink. And that's been something I just learned very recently, and I love it. I start almost every product, every project that I do, and I'm getting ready to ink, the first thing I do is spray some water on my ink pad, and then my ink is nice and dark. So, let's go ahead and ink this first. Yep, see? Gorgeous dark ink. Love it. I don't have to spend 15 minutes inking something that should have taken 2 seconds. This is the first page, and it has a little pocket, so I just want to remember, and I might even stick something in there so I don't forget that that's got a pocket in there. Perfect. And let's just glue this one down. So at this point, it's just a matter of gluing on images. So this works for any image, any theme. Gosh, I'm just thinking this would be really cute with bees. I may have to redo this with a bee theme with the honeycombs and the hives and stuff. This would be a really, really cute theme for that. I'm trying to find the 12 so it's going the right way. And just gluing it right on top of the disc that we have. And notice I'm covering up the little band of the spiny piece. I don't know what that's called. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what it is. So I'm calling it the spiny piece. And that looks like that's glued on perfectly. So you can see how quickly this will go. Let's see. I think I want something more. I like this one after this one. And as you can tell, I'm just not arbitrarily picking the pictures. I am actually, I'm looking for similar depths of color or a theme that's related. So I try to make sure that my pages are not random from one to the next. Let's see if I can explain that better. So this one to me looks more dark. So I wanted something that was dark behind it. These are very yellow. And so I don't like that together. Eventually the yellow will work because I'll find something that has something lighter in it. But I don't like the yellow with this. So I thought the darker would work better. So that's why I'm using the dark one. Looks like that did not cut smoothly. Let me trim that off just a little bit. My cutter just went a little... My cutter got lazy. That's better. All right, And again, all we're doing is gluing these on. But there is a little, just wanted you to know there is a thought process here. I'm not just randomly choosing, and you could, you know, if that's your jam, then you go ahead and randomly choose your pictures. I have a thing about flow and, I don't know, flow and color, I guess. It has to work. Now this one's got this lighter color, so I can try to find one now that's going to move me towards the lighter hues. This one's got a little bit. This one, oh, man, these yellow ones are going to be hard to use, I think. I think I'm going to use this one next, and that might allow me to transition to something else. Don't you just love how dark that ink goes on when it's wet? I do, I do. I love it, love it, love it. Alrighty. And make sure we're getting this straight as we can anyway. Being that we're putting it on a circle. As you can tell, this is a really quick project. From here, I think it's going to be easy to put in one of these. And I think, just to make them a little less yellow, I may do a little more inking on them. I'm not happy with the, it's just really yellow. So let's do a little of this. And see if we can tone that yellow down just a tiny bit. Yes, that is better. We'll leave that out because I think we're going to have to do that again. A lot of times, if I'm doing, and I may end up doing this as I do the little bit of decorating I'm going to do, I may use like real chocolate wrappers as part of my decorating. So that may be, I may use that for the cover, I may use that for the notes that are going in those two little pocket pages. Haven't decided yet, but I do like to do that. I think I like this one next. Oh, ink. Oh my gosh, it's so nice and dark. It makes me so happy. Sometimes I'm inking and inking and inking and it's barely showing up, and I feel like my pad is not dry, but it does not get the color that I want. Now, since I've started spraying it, it's wonderful. Doesn't take much spray, and it really makes a difference. If for nothing else, it makes my inking go 10 times faster. So now I'm down to my last image, so I want to pick one that's my favorite because this will be the last image I'm putting inside, and I'm trying to decide if I want a coffee image, if I want to I think I want this chocolate image. I love this cafe. I might use that on the back, like that one on the back. I think I'm going to use this one. Chocolat. It says chocolat on there. If you haven't seen this paper, check it out. It is dreamy. Lots of good little tickety size little postery pieces that are really cool to work with. And again, I'm just putting a little more inky on that because I don't want it quite so just weirdly yellow. This will be our last full color. And then we will glue all of our, get this in here straight. All right, I'm going to hold off on the covers because I don't know what I want to do there. I do want to put in the lined paper. I am going to use, I have some permanent glue sticks, so I think I'm going to use that. And I am going to ink these all at once, and hopefully I can kind of get them all edged at the same time. If I kind of fan them a little bit, then I can edge all 6 of them at once. And I may end up decorating some of these. I haven't really decided. This was such a spur-of-the-moment project. Literally just saw it on Instagram and thought, I would like to make a circle journal. That seems like fun. And so I did. I think this yellow is going to help the yellow pages blend a little better too. This is a really pretty parchment look paper, which I really like. So it's not just plain. As you can see, as I put both sides on, our bracket piece is getting completely covered, so you really are only going to see the very tiniest bit of that. It'll only be in the very middle. You're not going to see it any other time. I think I want to put one of these on here, and that means I'll need something. Let me punch this here. I think we'll use this one twice. Because this is small and light, I think I'm going to put a decorative piece on first. I really wish, this is a 3-inch, and I wish I had a 2.5 inch, but I don't. So my lined circles are 2 inches, and it's not really, I would love like a 2 3/4 inch circle, because then it would show just the littlest, tiniest bit of that craft paper behind it. All right, let's ink this. I like to give people the option of having lined paper and plain paper. Sometimes if my journals are bigger, I like to give them at least 1-2 pages of mixed media paper. So if they're artists and they want to, they can, you know, use markers on it or something like that. I like to give people a variety. Let me make sure we're getting that. Oh, that's very crooked. Let's see, line those lines up with the words over there. Looks good. That's kind of fun. Keep moving. I actually could put one on this side too. No, I don't like that. Worth a consideration, but no thank you. All right. You can see how quickly this goes together, and it's really fast. You have to, of course, you have to have a 3-hole punch. You could do this with squares, though. It doesn't have to be circles. I just like the idea of, I'm attracted to journals that are different shapes and different sizes. So that's what I loved about this one. I love the idea of a circle journal. But you could make a square. You could make a rectangle, but then use the same idea. You just hinge it with the little flangey piece there. cut some pretty pictures the same size. And you are good to go. I have this. No. I feel like I'd like another one of those. Another one of those lined pieces in here. So let me cut a pattern piece. My papers keep getting stuck in my 3-hole punch. Not my 3-hole, my 3-inch. 3-hole punch would be silly. I don't even know what I'm saying sometimes. My brain and my mouth are not connected. Frequently, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth until it's out. Didn't glue that yet. Let's go ahead and put this on. Haven't really used this permanent glue stick, but one of the paper crafters that I follow says she really likes it, so I'm like, okay, I will give it a try. I'm not really a fan of glue stick because it tends not to hold for very long, but if it's permanent, maybe that'll be different. Let's go ahead and ink this lined piece. Oh, missed a spot. That looks good. Oops. Use this. No, I don't want it right in the middle, so I'm kind of putting it off to one side or the other. That's very definitely crooked. Nice. I like that. No, it'll end up looking like goo-goo eyes. That would be really terrible. I think I should avoid that. I don't want my mini journals to look like cross eyes. That would be really bad. Kind of freaky. You could do it on purpose. That would be different. But since I'm not doing it on purpose, I think I should avoid eyes in my cocoa and coffee mini journal. And actually, you could leave just the craft paper. You really don't have to cover it. I just wanted it to look a little nicer, but the craft paper is kind of cool. I can think of, like, if you were using a farm theme, or I can think of lots of themes. Woodsy, you know, woodsy animals and stuff like that. I think it would be neat to leave the craft paper just the way it is, but I decided not to. All there is to it. I just decided not to. The end. Now we are down to the covers. And I feel like I want to use, which way is front? This way is front. I think I want the chocolatier. I think that just makes an adorable cover. So let's go ahead and put that on the front. You can see we're almost done. I mean, how quick is this? Really quick. And then all we need to do is cover our hinge so we don't have a bunch of white things hanging out there on the end. And then we will be done the basics, and then it's just up to you to decorate it the way you want. That's the cover. And I do think I'm going to put the cafe on the back because I really like both of those images. All right, and the question is, what am I going to use to cover up that white paper? And how much do I want it to overlap? Oh, I know what I'm going to use. I might even use this tape that I mentioned, but if not, I think I'm going to use burlap. I think that would be amazing. I don't know whether this should go this. I think this goes this way, kind of laying down. Alrighty. I have some burlap tape, so let me grab that because I think that's what I want. Yeah, that's just pretty. I think we'll have to do that. So it can't be too big because I don't want it to cover too much. So I think we need to like right there. All right, and then I think what I want to do is I want to make this longer than I need it. And I want to shape it so that it covers the white. So I want it to be that big in the middle, but then fans out and maybe curves in. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this with this cutter. No, I think I want a smaller circle. Let's try this. I wish I had some kind of a fancy, I want a fancy, like, almost looks like medieval metal thing. That's what I feel like I would like on there, but I don't have anything like that. How am I going to get this in the same exact place? Holy moly, Lise. There's the edge. Oh gosh, got it pretty close. Yes, I like that. I like the curve. That works. And I can fold it so that it's going to go around that spine nice and tight. And I don't have any measurements to tell you because I have never done this before. I'm just guesstimating. This is how I do things. Fly by the seat of my pants all the time. All right. So all I did was push it like on the spine and then kind of crimp it. And that way I could see where the folds needed to go. So let's see if I got it right. Perfect. And I think this is a little taller than I want it, so I'm going to cut a little off of the top and a little off the bottom. Yep, I like that better. So see, I just squished it around there and pinched it, and that way I could see how big I needed it. And then, now I have to see where the center is so I can trim it down to the size. Oh, this is the way to do this. So I'm going to hold this folded next to here and center it, and then I can mark on here where I'm using a white pen, and that way it'll show, because this is brown paper. So that shows me where these are, and I want to cut this down. How do I want to do that? I think I'm just going to notch it. Let's just try notching it. I can always make another one. So I'm just cutting a notch there. And where's the other side? Right there. And that covers up the white, which will also reinforce it because I'm going to glue it really well. The back is too big. It's larger than the front. So let's cut that down about 1/4 of an inch. Now you could just put another piece of tape on here. I'm making this really complicated, so you could just take another piece that's that wide and just glue it right on there. So you don't need to do anything fancy. This is, unfortunately, this is what my brain does. My brain never goes to simple, it always goes to fancy. The back is still too big, so let's see if I can measure this, because it really is way bigger. I'm going to fix this. I'll come back when it's what it needs to be, so you don't have to watch me fudge with all this. All right, so to make it simple, because I'm making it really complex, if you measure the width of your tabs, so my tabs are, where's my pen? Pen, pencil, here we go. My tabs are this wide, so I'm going to go just the tiniest bit wider than that. And cut a piece off. And that's not straight. And then decide how far into your book you want it. A plain rectangular tag works perfectly, so you don't have to do anything fancy like I'm doing. I just got all hung up in doing something fancy. All right. So then you would just glue that on, and that covers, you're going to put glue here and just glue that on, and that way that will stabilize these so there's not that much pressure on because it's only lightweight paper. That'll stabilize those and hold them in place and cover them up and make them look pretty. And then you get this pretty paper, you know, that hopefully works with your paper. For me, I wanted something fancy, so I'm just going to keep showing you what I did. I now have this piece that's looks like this, 2 halves that look like that with the bridge in the middle. And what I need to do right now is get in here with a pencil. Where's my pencil? And I'm going to mark where the circle of the book is so that I can cut that and it'll line up perfectly. So if you chose to cut a shape, it could be a complicated shape like this. It could be, again, it really is just a tab. You can just round the edges. You could glue something, you know, you could leave it this way, but then you could, for example, glue something on top. So then it would look like that, and that would be really cute. So you could just take another circle and put it on top of this. I just wanted it to look, I don't know, I just wanted it to look like this. So this is what I did. But you definitely don't have to do this complicated. Just put a band on it. It's much easier. It looks fine. It'll make you happy. And you won't have to do all the fussing that I'm doing. I definitely do not need to do all this fussing. You can turn any simple project into a complex one. All right. We're going to glue, yeah, I think I'm going to use this. We're going to glue, put some glue right on here. Careful not to get it onto the book pages. So you just want the glue on the white tab pieces. And then that'll cover this. Then we're going to glue these pieces, my little extra fancy pieces, or your straight pieces that you just chose to do. Either way. And then we're going to stick that right on there. And make sure it covers the white. You know, I really should have gotten in there with some ink. Let me do that before it dries. Just dab this with a little with ink, and that way it won't be quite so white if it's not covered just exactly the way you want it. I think my glue's still wet. Oh yes, that's much better. Now you can't see the white at all. It doesn't have to be so perfect. Alrighty, we've got our edge all in line. I love that. I can go ahead and put some kind of a clasp on this side. Don't know what I'm going to do. I like it the way it is, so I may do nothing. But there is your finished circle journal. I'm probably going to put, I have a bunch of coffee quotes. I probably will go through and glue some coffee quotes on the plain pages just to make it more fun and interesting. But I think that made a really cute project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share. And thanks for crafting with me. This is Lisa at Imagination Sisterhood Studio.